Thanks for tuning into TC 24/7, Bloomington Normal's one and only entertainment show. I'm Stephanie Schroeder.
And I'm Dan Code. On this week's episode, we are going to hit the outdoors and get a little adventurous. And trust me, I have the bruises to prove it. And Stephanie, I hear you're going to hit up a new spot for burgers in Bloomington.
That's right, Dan, and I'm still full after that burger. But first, Maria takes us to the theaters. You may have walked past a giant neon orange sign in Uptown Normal a few times, but now we're going to take a look on the inside. Maria?
Hey guys, it's Maria. We're in Uptown Normal at the historic Normal Theater, where they put an old-time feeling on one of America's favorite pastimes. So, let's go to the movies. The Normal Theater is close to Illinois State's campus, but it is far away from any other theater in the area. And while far away has nothing to do with distance, it has everything to do with the moviegoer's experience at the historical theater.
Well, here the show really does start on the sidewalk because everybody out on the sidewalk has something in common with everybody else that's coming here, because we're a one screen. We don't have a lot of screens in here, not a lot of choice in here, but what we are showing is one of the best films, that we can choose. And you come in, you pay a low ticket price, you get low price concessions. You sit down, you can talk to other people before the show, everybody has something in common. And then when the show starts, we do a curtain speech where we greet everybody and we give away a prize. And then sometimes during our classics we'll have a cartoon, or we'll definitely have some previews before the independent and foreign films. So it's really a rounded evening of entertainment, and I think people can enjoy the theater just as much as they can the film.
The manager at the theater says that they try to provide the best quality, and that is what keeps people coming back. And for some, the Normal Theater is a family tradition, especially around the holidays.
We show classics. Classics are the films that everybody wants to see around Christmas time. White Christmas, It's a Wonderful Life, Christmas Story, movies like that. You can't see anyplace else. So you can see them on television, but it's not as special as getting the family together and coming over to the Normal Theater and seeing them on the big screen the way they were meant to be seen.
Keeping with the classics and pieces of history is what was strived for when the Normal Theater underwent restoration in the early 90s.
Well, this is a photograph of the original lobby, and we tried to duplicate it as much as we could. There's an interesting story about the carpet. What we did was we took some black and white photographs and put them on a color software program so that we can figure out the colors. And then we took them around to people who had been here in the past, in 1937 when the place opened. And they said, okay, this color scheme matches the best, and our general consensus, we chose the right color scheme.
It's all about the experience for those who go to the Normal Theater, and on the particular night I was there, it was a unique experience for me as well. Actors from the independent film The Visitor were in the house talking with viewers about the film. You may recognize Richard Jenkins from the new Coen Brothers Burn After Reading, or Rumor Has It, and I was able to grab a quick interview with the actors from The Visitor. This is your first lead role. What was it like for you?
It was an incredible experience. It's one of those things that that's when you're in school, you think everything's going to be like this, but it never is. And this one was. It was an amazing experience.
And what about for you?
Same thing. I was very spoiled for that to be my first film. And that's just downhill from here, right? Because you don't get scripts like that every day.
The Normal Theater shows films every weekend, starting on Thursday evenings. I'm Maria Chandler for TC 24/7. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Maria. I can't wait for the Normal Theater to play some of my favorite musicals, like Dirty Dancing and Footloose.
You mean like Kevin Bacon Footloose, that one?
Yeah, I love the fluffy hair.
Interesting. Well, speaking of music, TC 24/7's Lauren Graham has more on what's new in music.
Hey guys, I'm Lauren Graham, keeping you up to date on the music scene. After 10 years, MTV's Total Request Live will end this November after a final farewell show. The show, supported by votes from teeny boppers, boosted the careers of Britney Spears, Mariah Carey, Nelly, and Eminem. As always, there is a good to go with the bad. MTV will be bringing back MTV Friday Night Music Television, a show very similar to TRL. In other music news, Jennifer Hudson has finally released her self-titled debut album. You may remember her as an American Idol contestant or an Oscar winner for her role in Dreamgirls. Now she is working with many famous artists such as Timbaland. Her CD will feature ballads as well as upbeat music. After reading the series and seeing the movie Twilight, fans will be happy to hear the musicians for the soundtrack have been chosen. They include Muse, Linkin Park, Collective Soul, Paramore, and Perry Farrell. It arrives in stores on November 4th. For local music news, Death Cab for Cutie will be performing this Sunday, October 12th at 7:30 at the Assembly Hall in Champaign. And if you're looking ahead and love musicals, the Community Players Theater will be on stage for Guys and Dolls starting the weekend of October 24th through the 26th. The classical music depicts a group of lovable gangsters as they desperately hunt for a place for a floating crap game. A woman from the Salvation Army tries to get them to apologize for their ways, and the result is both a game and regret. Wrapping it up for the Music Mix, I'm Lauren Graham.
Coming up, we're playing paintball. Let's see how many times I get hit.
TV10 has made an upgrade. An innovative set. Fresh graphics. Original music. And a new mission to serve your campus, your community, your life.
Welcome back to TC 24/7. After all that paintballing, I was pretty beat up, and oddly enough, I was pretty hungry.
Well, Dan, you might be even more hungry after this next segment. Over the weekend, I stopped by a new burger joint that might put a smile on your face if you're a carnivore.
Oh yeah, that new place on Veterans Parkway? I heard something about a cowabunga burger.
That's right. Let's dig in to meatheads. So when you think of the term meathead, you usually think of a jock hitting the gym, but people around Bloomington have been thinking a little differently about this term since a local burger joint opened in their town last year. That's right, Meatheads opened last November in a plaza off what I like to call Restaurant Heaven, Veterans Parkway.
You know, there's a lot of fast casual restaurants out there, and there's not really a fast casual burger concept, and so we decided to come up with Meatheads.
But this isn't your typical fast food joint. Some might say this one has an upscale feel. Inside you will see modern decor from the lights to the booths. It also has unique artwork that reflects its own town. But my personal favorite are the quotes. Hey girl, I feel ya on the mints. And speaking of onions, I think it's time we dig into what this place is known for. The food. While some restaurant menus have a wide variety of selections, Meatheads gets straight to the point with theirs.
The whole philosophy is simplicity. So when you come in, you don't see a wide variety of menu items. You see burgers and fries.
And when the operating partner Kurt says burgers and fries, he means certified Angus beef and Idaho potatoes. I mean, you can't get more fresh than this. Meatheads goes through 800 pounds of beef and 2,000 pounds of potatoes a week. Now, I'm no expert, but that sounds like a lot of burgers and fries. So it sounds pretty simple. I like to think of it as BYOB, build your own burger.
I love the idea of being able to make it the way I like. And I think our customers love that. And I think that's it's a fresh idea. I mean, you know, we're not going to tell you that this is what you get on it and you have to subtract. They get to build their own, and it's fun.
So let's get to building. So I heard when new customers come to Meatheads, you guys have a different way of greeting them.
Oh yeah, we give them the Meatheads handshake.
Nice. So after I was properly greeted, I wanted to see what Bloomingtonians thought of the food. Oh, we want to know what's good at Meatheads. What'd you get tonight?
We got the cowabunga combo.
And what exactly does that consist of?
Meat, cheese, and bacon.
What exactly did you have today at Meatheads?
I had a grilled cheese with regular fries and cheese sauce.
How can you get a grilled cheese at a place called Meatheads?
Because their grilled cheese is just that good.
How are the burgers though? Anyone here get a burger?
The burger was great. I liked it a lot. Probably the best in town.
While this place screams carnivore, you can see some prefer the grilled cheese, which is 2 slices of Texas toast and 4 slices of American cheese. But it sounds like they're doing something right in the kitchen. And I bet you're dying to know what I tried by now. And for me, it was all about the petite meat. A single patty with cheese, bacon, and ketchup, and of course some original fries and a drink to complete my meal. If you're curious, I guess you will just have to see if Meatheads meets your destiny. For TC 24/7, I'm Stephanie Schroeder.
You know, some people may call me a meathead. I'm always hitting up the gym.
Oh yeah, I think I overheard someone raving about your biceps earlier today. Anyways, Meatheads is opening a new location in Naperville next month. And just to clarify, Dan, I am talking about a restaurant that has burgers, not your biceps.
Yeah. We'll be right back with more TC 24/7.
Yeah.
Me too, can I go?
Sure.
So Dan, what do we have up next?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I took a trip to the only paintball place in the area.
How was it? Paintball sounds kind of painful.
Well, you'll just have to see how I do.
Sudden Impact's been open now for about 16 years. Not a lot of people known about it. Kind of started, it was a small-time operation, just the owner and his family, and then it's just grown year after year.
You might think paintball is just a hobby, but these guys call it a lifestyle.
Really, it's a game of fun. Really, that's why we usually don't keep score. It's just, you're out here for fun. You don't really want to keep score. It's just for relaxation.
It's a lot of fun. You get to run around, you get rid of some aggression, you get to shoot people who then get up and walk away.
The 100 acres of land are split up into 3 wooded fields and 3 concept fields. A concept field uses inflatable bunkers or pipes. We began our day playing X-Ball, one of the newer concept fields.
This field's perfectly mirrored on each side, so neither side has an advantage. And a field like this, it's all about the angles, using, putting bunkers between you and your opponents and trying to eliminate the other people. And so on a field like this, the game is usually typically just pure elimination.
Got him.
The X-Ball field's defined by kind of that giant 20-foot X in the middle of the field.
I'm out. First time I'm out. First hit of the day. Feels good. It's a good burn.
And before we knew it, the first game of the day was over.
So it's a pretty fast-paced game. 5-minute break, we'll be back on the field.
We wiped the paint off our goggles, reloaded our hoppers, and headed over to a wooded field.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Yeah.
Why so serious? This time we're playing a wooded course, capture the flag. Let's see how we do. Process of elimination. We got to bring the flag to the other side. Let's go.
Wooded fields give players a lot more open terrain to use to their advantage. Bunkers are spread throughout the field to give players more options when taking cover and picking targets.
See if I can get it from here. I don't think so. Started taking that off.
We finished the day at Sudden Impact on the Hyperball field. Since we were running out of paintballs, it was really time to cut loose.
Hyperball is it's the same concept of airball, except instead of using inflatable Kevlar bunkers, they're drainage tubes.
Not gonna hit me. Close one.
there's not a better feeling in the world than shooting someone, especially someone that you know. Or if you want to get back at someone, there's no better feeling than shooting at your best friend or something.
It might look aggressive, but it's not.
There were paintballs flying everywhere, and it may have stung a little, but overall, we had a good time.
So, be honest, was it painful or not?
I would go with not. I had so much adrenaline at the time that it wasn't even noticeable.
Speaking of adrenaline, have you seen any high-impact movies lately?
I saw Iron Man on DVD. Have you seen it?
No, not really my style for movies.
Well, let's check in with Kevin Driscoll. He has more at the movies.
Hey everyone, what's happening? I'm Kevin Driscoll, and I'm here to let you know about what's going on this weekend at the movies. Not only are there a bunch of A-list stars in these films, but each film is from a different genre, which means there should be something for everyone. Let's start it off with the family film, City of Ember. The story is set in an underground city that was built to house a human community for 200 years. And guess what? Time's up. The generator that powers the city is shutting down, and now 2 teenagers who have found clues to the existence of the city are now its only hope for survival. This movie is sure to please anyone looking for a fun-filled family adventure. It also stars Bill Murray and Tim Robbins. Next, I'll talk about a not-so-family fun film, Quarantine. After a TV news crew and a firefighting team enter a small apartment building, they find that it's filled with people who are infected with some unknown disease. Without warning, the CDC decides to quarantine the entire building, leaving everybody and everything inside. Audiences are sure to be covering their eyes and ears for this one. The amazing true story of Ernie Davis is finally told in the inspirational film, The Express. After battling social and economic issues his whole life, Ernie Davis became the first African American to win the Heisman Trophy. Throughout his college years, under the guidance of legendary Syracuse coach Ben Schwartzwalder, played by Dennis Quaid, Davis set records that still stand today. Ernie Davis joined the ranks of black pioneers, inspiring movement that smashed barriers off the field as well. This film will be nothing short of a success, and Dennis Quaid is sure to give a powerful performance. So far, we've touched on family, horror, and inspirational. Now it's time for action. Director Ridley Scott brings together 2 powerhouses, Leonardo DiCaprio and Russell Crowe, for his new film that centers on the world of U.S. covert intelligence. Roger Ferris, the best man U.S. intelligence has on the ground, played by DiCaprio, has a new mission: to lure out a terrorist leader who has been able to stay hidden while orchestrating a campaign of bombings. All of Ferris's moves on the ground and orders come from Ed Hoffman, a CIA veteran who is able to see everything Ferris does from his suburban home. Hoffman, played by Crowe, is the head strategist leading every aspect of the operation. Tensions grow high when Ferris, who's in the field, and Hoffman, who's comfortable at home, begin to see other than eye to eye. Well, so if you're going to the movies this weekend, you have plenty of options. I'm Kevin Driscoll, and that's what's happening this weekend at the movies.
Thanks, Kevin. Next week, I think we should talk about devoting the entire movie segment to chick flicks.
We'll see about that. Coming up after the break, Chip Brewster's going to show us an up-and-coming sport that's popular among college kids. Stay with us. Thanks for sticking with TC 24/7. So Frisbee seems to be a pretty cool trend among college students.
Definitely, it's growing in popularity. I mean, me and my friends are always playing it at the beach, but why are we talking about Frisbees?
Well, TC 24/7's Chip Brewster shows us a new style of Frisbee that shares some characteristics with another popular sport. Chip?
For this week's adventure, I wanted to do something to reflect the beautiful weather we've been having. While pondering the ideal topic, someone threw a Frisbee my way, and then, the perfect idea, Frisbee golf, or Fro. Dan and I found the closest course to the ISU campus right down Gregory Street at Maxwell Park. We met up with a couple of guys who showed us the ropes, Alex and Mike. They started me off in the warm-up area where I received their expert tips and training.
Just try to aim it straight for it, just kind of lasering it in there. That's a little hard, but...
It's my first time! Wrist straight, wrist straight. Shia. 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 All right, here we go. This is the one, this is the one. That's it. Let's go home, Dan. Woo! Your turn, Alex.
Hit me in the chin.
Yeah! Good. But I bet it was a cool shot. A few more warm-up shots, and then I met Mike at the first tee where he talked me through some frolf driving techniques.
Like for distance, the best would be sidearm.
Okay.
And then there's a bunch of different grips that go with it. You can just do like a single finger underneath. You can do the power grip. You go 2 fingers, and it's usually not as accurate, but you get more.
Teaching someone that first throw doesn't mean anything if you can't do it yourself. For Mike, that wasn't a problem.
Just a little approach.
While I was forced to follow that excellent shot, I feel that I did pretty good for my first time. Power grip, power grip. Mulligan. Okay, so my very first driving throw ever wasn't the greatest. But check out where my real throw landed. All right, did you see where my disc landed? They went like 2 times already. This one's mine. This whole one. Fantastic. So this whole frisbee golf thing hasn't been around too long, but it is gaining popularity. With rules similar to that of its club and ball counterpart, it attracts a younger crowd whose pockets may not be as deep. The specifically designed frisbee golf discs can be bought around most college campuses for a relatively cheap price. Throw in the local free disc golf courses, and you've got yourself an inexpensive and enjoyable hobby. At least until you get your disc lost among the weeds. Let's see. It's rough finding the frisbee in the rough. There it is. Fortunately for me, I found my frisbee rather quickly. Alex, on the other hand. It's also a good idea to have highlighted color frisbees, so when it gets lost in the grass, you don't have 3 people looking for it, including one of the cameramen. Although I don't think he's really helping too much. Should I feel bad for standing here and watching?
Yes.
Yeah? That's too bad. After finishing one more hole with the guys, Dan and I headed out to find another local frisbee golf course, this time in Bloomington. All right, now I'm here at First Tee for another frisbee golf course in PJ Irvin Park. It's at the south side of Bloomington, kind of tucked away, a little bit of a hidden secret. Definitely one of the more hilly parks as you're gonna see, but that makes for a great game of frisbee golf. This park was truly hidden, as I will now be honest and tell you that we actually got lost on the way there. The park's seclusion makes it a perfect place to get away from it all and enjoy around with your friends. And we ran into just that.
Instead of walking around, you could actually do something fun, challenging instead of just walking through the forest.
While I may not have been with my buddies, I decided to use the time at the park to improve on my frolf skills. Unfortunately, my arch nemesis has far more control over PJ Irvin Park than Maxwell Park. Okay, so I'm trying to apply what Alex and his friends taught me about your grip on the frisbee golf disc when you throw it. And they were saying this is the power grip right here. And I don't know if you can see that go way down there, but definitely gonna need some power. It's okay, I have another disc. Old school way. Oh my gosh. Play it as it lies. All in the wrist. All in the wrist. That is amazing because that tree is like this big and I still hit it. I don't know what's with it, but I just happen to be able to throw at every single tree in the park. It's a skill, A little bit more in the wrist. Oh my gosh. Mulligan. Listen, if you don't embrace the trees, how are you supposed to get along with them, all right? I try to make friends. While I did struggle against the wooden foes, many groups appeared to enjoy the challenge as well as the beauty of the park's hilly environment. And don't think I'm a terrible player. While I may have issues with trees, I have video proof of my disc golf ability. You guys ready for this? This is what a hole-in-one looks like. So Frisbee golf, or frolf, definitely one of the more fun outdoor activities. It gets you outside, closer to the trees. I love trees. And you learn a new game, hang out with some friends. Overall, just have some fun. For TC 24/7, I'm Chip Brewster. Back to you guys in the studio. I love those trees.
Thanks, Chip. Dan, I think I might have just found a new hobby. Actually, I think I just like to say the word frolf.
Alrighty then. Well, it's been getting a little cold out these days, and you know what I like to do in the cold? Play my Xbox. And speaking of Xbox, are you a big Xbox fan or PlayStation fan?
Dan, back in the day I used to love to play Tony Hawk on my PlayStation, but these days I think I'm more into the Wii.
Well, if you like Wii, I think Carter has something just for you in this week's gaming episode. Carter, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Dan and Stephanie. Let's jump right into it with the new THQ title, De Blob. In De Blob, you're the leader of an underground movement combating colorless dictators who control a huge black and white metropolis. So, naturally, you're a blob of color in the grayscale world, and it's your job to jump around and splash deep purples and violent reds onto the buildings that comprise the city. Along the way, the powers above send color-sucking bad guys at you to attempt to keep the world monochromatic, and it's your job to smash them to bits with all of the colors of the rainbow. It's essentially a platformer in the vein of Mario Galaxy or Banjo-Kazooie, but that's not to say that this game sticks to platforming conventions. The environments around you are almost fully interactive, which gives the game a very open-ended feel. You can choose to spend a couple hours jumping from building to building, splashing various colors onto all kinds of surfaces, or you can run right through the game's well-developed storyline. It uses the Wii Remote and Nunchuck to guide all of your movements, and although the controls are tight, it can be a bit frustrating when your motions don't register. Sadly, for those of us who like button pressing for actions like jumping, there is no control configuration. The game can be slightly repetitive, and you kind of wish the designers were a bit more inventive with how you fight the black and white bad guys. But those are really small complaints against what is a very solid platforming action title. Moving on, the Xbox Live Arcade has shown popularity in the past few months, and that's because of titles like Castle Crashers. As someone who grew up on side-scrolling Super Nintendo titles like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Super Mario, I definitely have a soft spot for throwback games like Castle Crashers. Don't let the graphics fool you, some of the concepts in the game can be bloody and mature, but that doesn't at all take away from how fun it is to run through some very well-drawn maps with up to 3 friends, courtesy of Xbox Live. You can fight with weapons ranging from tree vines and golden swords to, yes, frozen poultry. That's this game's brand of infectious humor, and it backs up a well-designed, extremely simple combat system where you basically either push a button to swing a weapon over and over again, or blast enemies with magic over and over again. I've played through the game at least 3 or 4 times now, which I'm not one to do, but it's a simple, fun, addicting title. And that's going to wrap it up. Let's go back to Stephanie and Dan.
Well, Dan, I can't wait to get my blob on. But it looks like we're just about out of time.
Looks like it, but don't forget to tune in next week when we participate in Homecoming Week.
That's right, we even participate in a potato sack race. Until then, don't forget to email us with your story ideas and comments at tc247@ymail.com. I'm Stephanie Schroeder.
And I'm Dan Code, and thanks for watching TC 24/7, Bloomington Normal's one and only entertainment show.
What? Are you hassling me? Are you hassling me? You getting in my face?
What? This time we're doing a wooded course where it's an elimination where you have to bring the flag to the opposing team's base. Let's see how this goes. It's really sad. Hey, the law's okay.